Ladies and gentlemen, something exciting is happening. We are talking for the first time with the current lineup of SDC Rhythm XP bronze medalists at this year's USBA Nationals. Doc Barrett.
Hi.
Hi. I have to talk to you before.
Yeah, you a few times. We've had this conversation.
Introduce your lineup and the bronze medal winners of this year's USBA Nationals to us, please.
This is Chris Webb, flies tail. Keith Connor, inside center. Charlie McGee, video. Carl Calgren the fourth, point.
I don't have to really introduce much about you now because we have known you forever and you have been at World Meet and all that kind of stuff. So you may just I'm very sad, but I may not ask you a lot of questions. But is that okay?
People hear from me enough. They need to learn about these guys for sure.
So let's begin with Carl and Charlie actually, because you have a very exciting history because you were teammates together last year, and that was in the intermediate class.
Yeah, it was big jump for sure.
Yes. So how long have you actually known each other?
I think Carl had maybe like 15 or 20 jumps and then a really long time off of the sport, and when he started back, I was the one that did his ground school, his first jump course as a refresher when he started back. Was on his check dive, and it was I think jump 40 that we started training four-way together when I was on video and he was flying inside, and this is our fourth season flying together.
That was camp number 1. I think I increased my jump numbers by 50% that week.
40 jumps to 60 jumps.
Yep.
Was his first four-way camp.
And where did that all happen?
At Triangle Skydiving Center.
Okay.
Since gone through a name change, but Triangle Skydiving in Lewisburg, North Carolina.
And I want to say that one more time, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about AA intermediate class competitors at last year's USBA Nationals, and they didn't even, they skipped the advanced class competition at the Nationals and went straight to open class, four-way open class competition, and then straight to medals on the USBA Nationals. Congratulations for that. So that is more than impressive. Maybe unprecedented. I'm going to look, and I think it is.
I don't think it's ever been done.
Yeah, I think so neither.
Yeah, because most everybody would go to advanced first, and then I joke with Carl quite frequently about how many years it took me to get on to the open class podium, and how many years we got 4th, 3rd, 5th, and in his first year, he decides to get bronze.
Yeah, that,
a little love-hate there.
Those young folks, they leave us in the dust.
I know, right? These young guys. Us old folks over here, right? And now we're the old guys, Kurt? Thanks, I appreciate that. I'm only 35.
Well, what is
we call him Silver Fox. So.
I'm granddad.
I have been called the old man on the team numerous times. Yeah,
Who was it?
Multiple people.
Which is really funny because you are barely in the 30s, right?
35.
Yeah, there we go. Oh gosh, it's a young man. Yeah.
Skydiving years.
So you're not even the oldest person in the team, probably, are you? Anybody
No.
beats 35
Yes.
here?
Yes.
Would have been done.
And Chris Webb, you also made a pretty big leap from
Intermediate, or no, advanced. Sorry, you talk. You hear enough from me.
Yeah, no, I like to hear from anybody, but your name was not very well known in the four-way community here, but you made it within very short time frame. All of a sudden you're ending up in the rhythm lineup.
Yeah.
How did you, what drew Chris into the lineup?
You're asking me?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm asking you now.
So I coached Chris. Yeah,
It's a question for Doug.
Question for Doug. I coached Chris. How many? Two years? Yeah, 2 years on Revolution to the silver medal last year. 2 years, I believe so. Yeah, I remember that in advance. And then he was on the short list for when we knew that I was going to do the rebuild. And
you knew him already? So.
Yeah. I had previous experience, 2 years of coaching him before this in Revolution.
Mm-hmm. And then there was Keith, who was on the West Coast. You didn't know anything about him, right?
No, actually, Keith and I have had conversations a couple of times before. We brought you out once before to try out
for the World Meet.
For the World Meet with when we were looking for a replacement for Jeanette, and we wound up going with Drew and then Christy. So we actually brought Keith out for that. So Keith and I have some past.
You keep an eye on the West. Yeah, it has happened. There were times like the first Airspeed original lineup. That was a combination of East and West. So it's not it happened before, and from the Midwest too. There's a history about that from. Chaos Theory XP. There's more to that team name actually, because you have a famous female teammate. You had one.
Yeah.
That was also stolen away from the.
Yeah, there was definitely a special team. Obviously, myself and Charlie went here, and Anna went to XPG4. So we're very proud of her, and we've all remained friends, obviously. So it's great that we get to see each other at competition, and it's kind of fun also being a little competitive with your former teammates too.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
you had a battle here, right here. So I will get into this. I'm waiting for the opportunity to get you and Anna together, and Charlie actually on the. So now it's all about rhythm, but then I would still like to do that because that's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
did you
absolutely.
make fun of each other or kind of challenge each other?
For sure.
a lot of smack talk. But it's also fun just to have, it's super nice for me and Carl making the jump and being teammates and moving up in the sport together. Like, she's still very much a part of that. She's still a great friend, and we'll always consider her a teammate. And it's been fun kind of bouncing back and forth with her a lot this season, just as we're all going through some of the similar changes.
She beats you in one thing. She will go to a world meet.
This is true.
Only Doug has been at a world meet yet. She may become a world champion.
Yeah, we're absolutely behind her.
For sure.
Yeah, so that's your goal, right? Eventually for rhythm.
Absolutely.
So tell a little bit, let's talk about the future a little bit. Here, airspeed is just like not miles away. It's like,
everybody's beatable.
Yeah, we have seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the time frame that you're looking at?
We're going to continue to push forward. Obviously we're going to train as hard, if not harder, next year, and try to make a run then, and then continue through. So,
have you sold your house on the West Coast yet?
No, we're actually hanging on to the house. We're renting it out right now. Just in the off chance we ever go back to California, we'd like to have the house, and it's real estate, so it's nice to rent it out and make a little money off of it, and it's working out well.
They did move to Sebastian.
Yes.
Oh,
So I am
Sebastian.
currently living in Sebastian, Florida. So
Okay.
we also bought a house out there, I love it. I like it out there.
Yeah, you're toggling back and forth between Sebastian and Chicago. It's got to have Chicago anywhere, right?
And XP, yeah. Little trifecta.
So now this is the end of the 2022 outdoor season, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Transition into indoors coming up next, or what's happening? What does Rhythm have to tell the public about what's coming up?
We will be back in the tunnel starting October, and then we'll stick to our same plan. We do 14 days a month of training, whether it be in the tunnel or jumping, along with whatever, we have tunnel workshops as well, obviously, and then other events that we're doing in between. Charlie and I'll be going to the TBS record in Paris in October as well. But we'll be mainly tunnel in October. I'm trying to recall our calendar. We have jumping in November as well as tunnel, and then a mix of both again in December, and then in the next week or so we will go over the 23 schedule.
And tunnel meets Paraclete XP.
Mhm.
Basically. Okay.
Yep.
Um,
And we have
Wow.
Shamrock tentative dates on there as well,
Okay.
so we'd like to
Yeah.
compete more as much as we can next year and try to get those dates early. You know, we set our schedule pretty much in January for the year, so the earlier we can get dates for when competitions are going to happen, we want to compete as much.
I'm
as
collecting now information about what is the best date. So if you can also tell me
possible. For sure,
actually,
yeah. We'd like
because
to make sure
it's-
we can make the.
Yeah, it's a
make
little
it
bit
the
tricky with the indoor-outdoor transition. You know, that becomes kind of a
Yeah, and unfortunately, like I've heard that all the larger European tunnel meets aren't happening anymore. You know, like Windor, we loved to go to Windor. That was the Wind Games were such a great competition, very well
World
run.
Challenge.
Yeah, Bedford is now pretty much done, and there's not really much else. So, I mean, one of the goals I'd like to talk to the XP tunnel about is trying to make that meet bigger for international teams and kind of host a joint championship there. I'm kind of speaking a little out of turn before I've actually talked to anybody about this, but just a way that we can start driving some more international competition or just bigger meets that we can start attending, you know?
Yeah, well, the World Cup, World Meet seems to be always now at March, April, whatever. So and that is kind of the end of the indoor season.
Yeah.
And I think the Shamrock should probably be behind that. So we will talk about this later. So
okay.
we don't want to bore the.
Yeah.
That's administrative planning. So 14 days per month. That's what you have been doing this year with your preparations.
Yep.
Okay. How many jumps did that give you actually?
Everybody's like,
Charles.
From January 3rd through the day before Nationals registration day, we did 554.
554. It's not really
That's-
that much.
That's with
right?
that's with a lot of tunnel time early on. Just
Yeah.
leading up to
Okay.
indoors and still even
30,
some after
probably
that.
30 plus hours in the tunnel and 554.
And that'll continue another 14. That worked well for you, so you will
It's a
stick
lot.
with that.
It
Yeah.
is absolutely a lot, but it is manageable and it is what we know will take us to the next level.
And Rhythm XP will manage the Midwest Skydiving League meets again, so everybody
Absolutely.
should know that. You know,
Yes.
that's
For all of
that's,
those out there that aren't aware, make sure that you go to skyleague.com, look for the meets in your area, or contact one of us or somebody in your area, and like go compete as much as possible. The resources are there, and just a little bit of Google searching will take you a long way.
Thank you,
to find your
Doug.
company.
You know.
Absolutely, man. I've always been a proponent of like compete as much as possible. Like our first year in VTSD, we did 9 meets.
Oh, that's right. That's still the standing record. Although the Flying Circus in the Czech Republic, you know,
Yeah.
but this was all outdoor.
Outdoor.
stuff.
We did 9 outdoor meets that year.
Yeah. So that
We
is still-
traveled from Florida all the way to Cross Keys and did every meet we could that year. So I'm a huge proponent and absolutely think everyone needs to compete as much as possible, because you don't get round 1 experience anywhere. The virtual meets are fantastic for realistic judging, which is also a huge part, and I think everybody needs to experience that as well. But just the physical act of being in a meet and at a competition environment is you can't beat it. You can't beat it. Yeah, actually, somebody asked me that question. They're like, "Well, wouldn't it be easier to just everybody do it virtually, and you could like we have the technology to do this?" I was like, "Yeah, we try that, but like the actual being at competition, there's nothing that can prepare you for that other than being at competitions."
Wasn't that even also the first outdoor competition for this rhythm lineup?
This is the first outdoor competition for this rhythm lineup.
Number 1.
So gosh,
Yeah.
how did this feel for you guys, the round 1? Because I'm always asking, you know, especially the most experienced skydivers, competitors, you know, and they always tell me over and over again, round 1 is nerve-wracking. Was it for you too? For you?
For
too?
me, I'll be honest. Round 9, first round, day 2, I was more nervous than I was round 1. For me, I knew the skydiving that we were doing at that time, leading up to nationals, and just the energy, the dynamic, the confidence in our team, in our group. I wasn't like nervous to compete. It was more excitement. I was so excited to go compete with these gentlemen here because of the hard work and everything that we had done this year, that I just knew that we were going to do very well. Our confidence was high, our skydiving was great, and I mean, it's only going to continue to get better from here.
Why round 9 and not round 10?
I mean, honestly, we were a little bit closer in score on 9.
Okay.
And for me, mentally, for some reason, that jump was just a little bit trickier. You know, like 4 randoms and a block.
Oh, yeah, I see.
And yeah.
That's the toughest memory, usually. You know, the more randoms, the more subtle.
Yeah, and there's like some intricate angles in there that I really wanted to make sure that I was setting up well for the 22 builds and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so for me, it was a little bit more challenging.
That was your first year in the outside center slot too, in competition and all that, right?
No.
Turbo.
Turbo and VTSC, I was outside center.
Oh, yeah.
So I have like 5 years of, and we did,
I forgot
doing
about that
22 or 23 or something with Turbo back in the day.
Yeah. So how was round 1 for you and for you? And or which one was your most exciting or most nerve-wracking round?
The most exciting one, I think, was actually 9. I was second day. I was ready for it, and I wanted to attack it. So I was just super excited to go do it. Round 1 was oddly calm. I think it was one of the later rounds for me that I got a little more anxious about. But round 1 was, you know.
And it was sorry to interrupt, but it was a longer, faster day. You like to do 8 rounds in a day.
8 rounds, yeah.
8 rounds, and we were done by like 5 o'clock. So it was mentally and physically exhausting for that. Not in a bad way. You know, that's what competition should be. But I mean, I was in bed by 8 o'clock that night because of it.
Okay, so that's interesting. That round 9, you know, which was still the first round on the second day. We did 8 rounds here, you know, on the first day, which is unusual. I don't think that has ever happened at any major competition. 8 rounds on the first day,
unless it was like weather dependent, where they had to do it. You know, I think there was a nationals where they did like all 10 of 8-way in one day.
8-way.
Yeah, but I don't know. You're right. I don't know about 4-way.
Yeah, I don't know either. I would have to look it up. But Keith, how was it? What was for you the most exciting?
I mean, also round 9 was like a lot of fun. We were in a tight competition, and it was just always kind of having that pressure makes like that battle makes it a lot of fun. Round 1, yeah, a little nervous, but you know, just like staying calm and like keeping the energy level high, but like not over the line, just kind of staying calm. Like, yeah, round 1, like, you know, you kind of get your kind of heartbeat going and accelerating. I love that.
I wanted to hear that. So yeah, okay, that is happening.
I love that feeling. Like just that round 1 in the plane, it's just silent. Everyone's quiet and focused, and you're just like, all right, let's go do this. Like,
yeah. So what do you do when your heart begins beating? What do you do physically?
Just got good breathing, deep breaths, good visualization, focusing on the moment, staying in the here and the now, not letting outside distractions kind of come in, and then just.
Yeah, they're listening carefully, you know, the people who are listening. I get feedback from that. They want to know, you know, what do you do actually? Because it's happening to everybody, you know, your heart begins to beat, and so what do you do? You know, just being nervous, brain knocking that and so forth, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Trust in your training, trust in your teammates, trust that everyone there is like, we're out, like we're together, and we're going to just go as hard as we can and lean on each other and be there as a group. And
yeah,
but it begins with the breathing.
It works. I like taking deep breaths before before we climb out. I take a couple breaths before I give the count. I take a deep breath, and then like once I close my visor, it's like it's game on. Like, let's go.
Is it a little bit easier? Sorry, you know, we go around anyway. But does it make it a little bit easier when you know you cannot win? Kind of, you know, you are more relaxed because it's you know, it's interesting that everybody says round 9 because there you were in a tight competition apparently, but in the beginning, you know, you can, in the airspeed was so far away, you know, there was probably some psyche about this medal, you know, there were other teams in medal contention, but I don't know. Just, you know.
If I can answer, when I go to competition, I always want to win. And I'm going to go into the competition with that same attitude. I never go into a competition thinking that I'm not going to win.
Okay.
Like, I'm going to drive, I'm going to do my best, I'm going to put my best out there, and I want to win. I'm going to win at some point.
So that
I
answers
don't
that
have
question.
that attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I like the accelerated heart rate, and I embrace it a little bit more. I make sure I visualize as well. I do a little bit of breathing, but I also look all of my teammates in the eyes before each jump, and I'm just like we're a team, we're a unit, we are gonna go execute, and just that little bit of sense of looking at everybody and we're all like, yeah. But I mean, that's how I approach.
Round 9 too?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to mirror them, but I was surprisingly calm on round 1, and definitely had a little bit of the accelerated heart rate, all the stuff we were talking about in round 9. One thing that I thought was kind of interesting that helped us a lot was we all had kind of that same energy going into round 1, and we talked about that at the end of the day. Let's come out strong. Let's really be focused and attack that first round of the day, round 9, and I think that really worked well for us. So
now I have to look at the leaderboard actually. I don't know how was round 9 actually. How did it turn out?
It was good.
yeah,
Yeah.
good.
So we picked up 4 points
Picked up 4
Oh.
points. It was our highest
On,
our highest round, I think.
on the girls.
It was
on the
yeah.
girls.
Mm-hmm. We scored a 25. They had a different engineering than we took, so I don't know if that lended to something, but we're also very confident with that exit. That exit into the first point for us, I knew was going to go well.
Charlie, every round same thing, 1 or 9 does it make a difference for you?
Hey, there's always some round 1 jitters, especially this year, with a lot more on the line. The round that I was the most concerned about and was the most nervous about was actually around 8, just because we had prepped 7 dives. I had gone home the night before the competition, kind of tried to mentally prep for those 7 myself, decide how exactly I'm going to exit, where I'm going to be. And then we were doing an 8th round. And they're like, let's not launch our 10. We're going to launch an H instead. And if you're a videographer for 4-way, you know that H's aren't the favorite exit for many people. So had to figure out how to attack that with less than 30 minutes before that round, just as far as like mentally preparing for that, just because I've been feeling really, really solid so far, really confident about how everything had been going, and then like potential wrench in the system. So I was most nervous about 8.
Mm-hmm.
Especially by the time we got through that and everything was still going well, I showed up round 9, and like the night before that morning in the plane, that was like the most clear that I've ever been able to visualize a skydive, and was super confident about that.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any jitters at all in round 9, actually.
You mastered round 8, so
But
what's round 9?
I knew I was confident in 9 and 10 for my side of it. So once I got through that little hiccup and some of the exits that I'm less confident in on day 1, that was great after that.
Well, you were on camera here, so that's a feedback from the camera perspective. But you also had a round 1 in the active lineup before the camera this year, right?
Yeah. Little less on the line, a little bit more just for fun.
Well, that was more relaxed than
Yeah.
some of the.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell us a story. That was at one of the Midwest Skydiving League
one of
meets,
the
right?
WSL meets close to a month ago now, 4 weeks ago. Just
Team name?
these what?
Team name?
Oh gosh, I don't even remember. We changed 2 or 3 times day of.
Okay.
Infinite Chaos or something.
Anyhow, Charlie has competitive history too in front of the camera, not only in behind the camera.
Yeah, I mean, my first 4-way team, I was flying outside center across from Chris flying inside center 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just super fun to fly inside every once in a while when I can. So had the chance to a couple weeks ago, just put together a little pickup team, have some fun. It was
Very
a
cool.
great opportunity.
So we're going to 8-way now. Prison 9.
Yep.
Who is on Prison 9? Not everybody? No, right.
Me and Charlie.
Okay. And are you doing 8-way or are you done?
Everybody's doing 8-way.
Everybody's in?
Yeah.
So who are you teaming up with?
Carolina Greatness.
Ah, okay.
If you see our jerseys, you'll know who we
Oh
are.
yeah,
Ah,
they're great.
Back to the roots.
They're great, literally.
Yeah.
In the
Very,
Carolinas.
very good jerseys.
Who else?
I have my team, Keith's Insubordinators.
Okay.
They
Oh, that's
are-
you. The Keith is related
Yeah.
to you. I see. I saw that name. Yeah.
And they are the most fun. It's just been so great training with them all year. And then I took, my goal was I wanted to bring people from different areas and kind of make new friends and get a bunch of people. I have some friends from California, some friends from Florida. There's a couple from CSC, and then one from down in Dallas. Get them all together, make new friends, and that's, to me, that's what's so great about competition and nationals. I get to see all my friends from all over the country, and I really love in-person meets. We kind of talked about that a little bit earlier, but so yeah, gathered them all up, and it's just been great, and made some new friends, and some of them have some 4-way experience, and then kind of introduced them to the 8-way, and I'm so excited to go compete with them tomorrow. It's going to be so much fun.
Fantastic. And
So yeah, I am on a team that we put together a couple weeks ago called God Knock XP. It's it's Norse, apparently, but it's with several members of Lightspeed, and then Anna and Brent of XPG4, and
Ooh.
Chris Normando, and
we have
Kim
got some
from-
competition here for Prison
Yeah.
9, huh? Yeah,
Yeah,
that
so-
sounds good.
we'll see. It's a pretty
No,
decent
I didn't say
lineup.
that. I didn't say that.
I love competition. Bring it on.
Well, I guess you're looking at airspeed 9, airspeed 8.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody will get to the XP8 level, but airspeed
No, I've heard. I have a fairly good friend on the team, and he said that their last couple of camps have been really, really good, which is awesome. I really would like to see them win the world meet again for sure.
All right, release your very well-known friend's name to the public, so they know
okay.
too.
Yeah, Mr. Happick, Andrew
Mr.
Happick.
Happick,
Yes,
yeah.
my very good friend of many years.
Yeah.
Sometimes he still talks to me.
He's almost a guaranteed world champion now. Huh?
For sure, as he should be.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best skydivers in the world, for sure.
Good to hear that, Andrew. Huh?
I've told him that many times.
Yeah, I know. We all agree, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, that was really super interesting and entertaining and all of that. Thank you very much for taking the time. We have to stop at some point.
I know,
here.
we can keep going.
I don't even know if the camera is still running.
I hope
Who
so.
knows? No, but
We'll
maybe
do
all
it
of
again.
battery by now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kurt.
Good
Thank
luck
you for
and
everything
good-
that you do.
Well, thank
Appreciate
you.
it. For
And
sure.
have fun with the 8 ways tomorrow.
Oh, we will.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Thanks.